Hello there at 12:09 Pacific Daylight Time here at in Lafayette, California. It's the Friday noontime Facebook webcast from Mighty Fine Guitars. Your old pal Stevie Coyle here, checking to make sure that you are there and I am here, and we can proceed with today's featured guitar. Holy smokes! Featured this guitar once several weeks ago, in its before state, which was quite wonderful sonically, but the guitar needed some help trigonometrically, physically. We'll talk all about that. Hang on a sec here. Let me make sure that broadcast is going out. Yes, it looks like it is, and perhaps can come up a little bit. Top of my head being cut off as it is. How's that? We'll take a look. In the meantime, come on in. And there we go. Yeah, I think things are happening. Okay, good. So a few weeks ago, this guitar came in. A 1968 Martin D35. For those of you not savvy to the lingo, Martin is one of the top names, has been arguably the top name in America since the 1830s for guitars. And Gibson, Martin Gibson, Guild for the longest time. And nowadays, all of these fantastic small builders that you see represented here at Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California. This is a Martin from 1968, which is one of the great years, and it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, because Martin was headed into this period in the 70s where they got the bridges on in the wrong place. So the upshot of which is, for those of you that play, you know, that you'll be okay in first position, playing cowboy chords, it'll sound fine. The minute you get up around the third fret, things sound a little odd. If you play up the neck, and we all know there's really no money above the fifth fret, but some people do, things get really wonky. This guitar had some wonkiness, even though it was in the pre-70s era where things got so dark in Martin land. Boy, oh boy. I see that blue Martin case from the 70s come in, and I think, oh man, going to have to disappoint somebody here. But this one came in 1968, had that problem, which was creeping up on guitars, but it's been fixed beautifully and elegantly, intonates perfectly, and here it is, the mighty Martin D35 from 1968. And you know, folks, I played D35. Before I start giving my impressions of what's going on here. Here's what the guitar is: dreadnought body, real big body. Narrow fingerboard, 1 11/16 over here instead of 1 3/4, which is kind of more the finger style size. This is the Strummin and flat picking size fingerboard nut. The nut width here is 1 11/16. Top is Sitka spruce. Back and sides are rosewood, but 3-piece rosewood. This is when they were running out of the Brazilian rosewood that forms the center strip. Not only, I should say, the center strip of this guitar, but also the sides. This is kind of unusual in Martin land. Usually you'd get a center strip of Brazilian rosewood down the center of the back because they were running out of pieces big enough to make a 2-piece back. So they thought, well, it's Brazilian rosewood, and people like that. Yes, they do. But we don't have any pieces wide enough. We're running out of pieces wide enough to make 2-piece backs. Let's make a 3-piece back. Center strip will be Brazilian rosewood, the side pieces, and most frequently, the sides and the side pieces on the back would be East Indian rosewood. This one, for whatever reason, don't know. This is before computers made guitars, and human beings made them, for good and bad. Center strip is Brazilian rosewood, East Indian rosewood on the sides of the back, but on the sides of the guitar itself, look at this Brazilian rosewood. That is for sure Brazilian. And like I always say, you know, since guitar players look at this piece of the guitar an awful lot, having something real pretty to look at there is a plus. But the big plus on this guitar is not only that it is good for another probably 30, 35 years before you need to do anything to it. Neck has been reset, it's been refretted, the bridge has been fixed, and it sounds like this. That's crazy. That's madness. Hang on a sec, folks. Make sure the things are actually happening here. Yeah, we got some folks in here. Good. And you know, for whatever reason, folks, it's still happening. I cannot see your comments and questions until after I sign off. So I can see that the signal is going out here, sure enough, but I cannot see at the same time your comments and questions. So ain't that a pip? Well, anyway, here's what the guitar sounds like. Intonates beautifully, the action is terrific, just where a dreadnought ought to be. Not so low that it's going to rattle on the frets, and not so high that you can't play it, but high enough so that you can hit it hard. I say you can hit it hard without the strings rattling on the frets. Beautiful setup by a gentleman up in Sebastopol now. It was Sebastopol, and now it's Santa Rosa, California. A gentleman named Matt Kerslake, who brings these guitars back from the dead. He's got several guitars in here that other luthiers and builders would have said, well, you know, it's really probably not worth redoing the thing. He says, hell yeah, it's worth doing the thing. And it's a whole lot of neck resets and refrets and intonations down. But this one, in the previous iteration, rather the previous video, the Cinderella Story Part 1, was this guitar before all of those adjustments were made. Now the neck has been reset, it's been refretted, the bridge has been adjusted to where it needs to be. And it sounds fantastic. Let me strum this thing for you. And still seeing any comments or questions here? Sadly, no. We are not. Very strange, very mysterious. But I'll proceed, assuming, fingers crossed, that things are happening and that you're seeing and hearing this guitar. Guitars are different. Small body guitars, fingerstyle guitars, the premium is on articulation, where every note pops out individually. On dreadnoughts and jumbos, typically, what people are after is either real clarity in single note stuff, because they're going to be doing kind of bluegrass flat picking, or in strumming, where you want notes to saturate beautifully, where they all, presumably, a strum is really a really fast arpeggio, where all the notes are separated in a chord and played sequentially. But when you put the thing all at once, essentially they're all coming off the top of the guitar at the same time. And that's where you want to check out the saturation level. Saturates beautifully. I hope you can hear that. I realize we've got miles of wires between us. Oh, yeah. So the woman that owns this guitar had done what needed to be done for this guitar to play its best and to sell at its best as well. Great intonation. It's all these notes are right where they ought to be. Tequila, etc. I'll try this again. See if we can get a reset on this. I just want to make sure things are going out, folks. Sorry to take time away from the guitar here, but yeah, I think things are going out. I'm just going to proceed apace. phosphor bronze strings. That is so Martin. I am Pete Townsend. For the moment. I am not playing gently or particularly carefully on this because I know I don't have to. I can hit this guitar good and hard, it's not going to rattle, but it's not going to be hard to play over here in the left hand either. This is what a setup can do for you, and this is where Matt Kerslake excels. It's the same guitar I played a couple, 3-4 weeks ago, whenever it was, but it's a different guitar because it's been brought into specs. Any Martin guitar after about 25 years, when I used to work at Griffin Stringed Instruments in Palo Alto years ago, the maxim was that after 25 years, just about any Martin is going to need a neck reset. It's just kind of the way it is, you know. This guitar went more than that. It had never had a neck reset from 1968, which is, I think that's more than 25 years ago. It needed a neck reset. It doesn't need one now for at least another 25 years. The frets will last you, the guitar will last you, and it just sings. What a voice on this thing. Occurred to me I might be overdriving the mic. Boy, I wish I could see your comments so that somebody could tell me if I'm overdriving the mic. Oh, my apologies if I was. I'll back up and do the same thing. Goodness, it's fun to play. Come and play it at Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California. the heart of the Tri-Cities area of Orinda, Moraga, and Lafayette. Right downtown. Right on Restaurant Row here. You can stop, have lunch before you come play guitars for hours, or have dinner after you come and play guitars for hours. This week's guitar, a 1968 Martin D35, completely resuscitated, restored, and brought back into specs. Plays great and sounds fantastic. I really don't know if I've ever played a D35 that sounds as good as this one. Lydia, oh Lydia, say have you met Lydia? Lydia the tattooed lady. She has eyes that men adore so, and a torso even more so. Come and get it. Martin D35. Next week I'm going to be featuring, I already know what I'm going to feature next week because it came in, and I'm going to try and do only one guitar per Friday Noontime webcast. It's a Preston Thompson 00. Ooh, yeah, you bet. We'll feature that, and then after that we'll feature a hummingbird, a 70s era hummingbird. It just came in. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it plays great. Also brought back to life by, guess who? Matt Kerslake. I can't stop playing this, but you don't have to listen to me. Go on, have your lunch, have your coffee break. Thanks for tuning in to the Friday Noontime webcast. I'm going to bounce this over to the Mighty Fine Guitars page on Facebook, then to Instagram, and then to the Stevie Coyle Music channel on YouTube, where things kind of live in the most permanent way of all. The Quitters, thanks for asking. The Quitters are playing this weekend down in Tehachapi, Saturday night. Go to quittersduo.com for all the details. Tehachapi, Saturday night. And then Sunday night, we're playing at McCabe's in Santa Monica, the legendary, iconic, bucolic McCabe's. So if you know folks in the Los Angeles area, send those Angelinos over. Tickets are still available for us, and for opening is a band called Trio of young women that sound terrific, called Honey Whiskey Trio. So how far wrong could you go on a Sunday night? And the show starts at 8. The Quitters and Honey Whiskey Trio, that's and Saturday night we're in Tehachapi at Fiddler's Crossing, and more details to follow. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll be back next week with another Friday Noontime webcast from Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California. Amen. Sim Salabim.